Hello and welcome to the Critically Curious. Welcome to another installment of our latest podcast. Within this podcast, of course, we are going to be nominating 100 games, 100 of the greatest games that we have ever played, eventually popping that into a top 20s list. But before we can make a top 20s list, we need to nominate these 100 games. And I believe, Gavin, you have the number. How many are we up to at the moment?
We're up to 42, if I'm correct.
I like the panic in his eyes just then as he was like, where am I going to get this information from?
It's hopefully I'm right. It's there, but hopefully.
Well, we'll see. 42 games have already been nominated, almost onto that halfway point. And so, yeah, we're gonna continue from where we left off. Now, if I'm correct, I haven't nominated the games that I have in front of me, so I'm going to kick us off with number 42, and that's going to be Mafia 2. For anyone that didn't play that game, Mafia 2 was an open world mafia game where you took on a role of a guy working his way up through the ranks of the mafia. It's one of the best stories in the Mafia trilogy, and it's just an absolute blinder to play.
Yeah, I think that's one of the Mafia series that I played religiously and did complete. I didn't obviously do all the achievements and things like that, but I did do the game 100%. And I think that's the one where, I don't know if it was at the end of the game, you got the chance to sort of do a top-down view where you're sending your capos and things to businesses to take over, if I'm correct.
I think you're on about Godfather, possibly.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Mafia.
Too. I literally recently replayed it and you couldn't do that.
I don't ever remember. See, I don't remember playing Godfather, so oh God. I'm gonna have to look at this afterwards now. But yeah, we'll see who's right.
I'm pretty sure I'm right. I literally just completed it. I just reviewed it on the channel as well. Godfather 2 is an amazing game. Obviously, it's kind of picking up from that GTA style, game.
Yeah.
That was released. You're able to run out and grab some cars and cause havoc on the streets and all that kind of thing. I loved it. It was an improvement on number one. I don't know if you ever played number one.
I don't think I did. No, I think number two was my first instance of the series. I had a little go of number three and I wasn't impressed with it, so I didn't never.
Yeah,
and I never carried on with this sort of thing. But I think number two, if I'm correct, and number two is the one that I did play through completely. So, but yeah, definitely a top 100 game. Okay, on to mine would have to be, let's pick one. Driver San Francisco. Did you ever play Driver San Francisco?
Driver San Francisco.
Yeah.
Driver San Francisco. Yeah, we mentioned it. We spoke about it the other day when you nominated Driver. Which one did you nominate? 3?
First one. So the number 3 was the one set in, I think you could drive into Nice. Number 1 was obviously one that I put stupid amount of hours, but probably never got past the first 2 levels when I was a kid. Because the first one was where you got your license by doing all the little driving around. But Driver San Francisco, I again played to completion. Absolutely fantastic game. A really good concept, really, that although it's not sort of free roam where you're out and about with a car, it's free roam because you can zoom out of the car you're in, jump into someone else's body. But the conversations and the things that you can do in the game, because you're jumping into people's lives, so you're jumping into people's conversations if there's someone else in the car. But yeah, I thought it was an absolutely fantastic game. But apparently there's no way to play it now unless you do it unconventional ways. But there's no way. Yeah, there's no way to buy it at the moment.
Or having the old school PlayStation.
Yeah, if you've still got it on that. So yeah, Driver San Francisco.
That's a good game. Good game. I remember playing that really fondly as a kid, actually. My next game's got to be the original, I must point that out, the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. Obviously, there is a new series made by EA, but the original series franchise of Star Wars Battlefront 2 was absolutely amazing. Number two was the one where it introduced the ability to be heroes. So you could be Yoda, you could be Anakin, those kind of heroes running through. It was a great game. It's a weird one because the way to explain it, like there was a narrative story where you could basically play through the Star Wars movies, which was really cool. There was a few, I think there was three different campaigns you could do, as well as you could do it as a co-op as well, split screen co-op, which was cool. And then you could also go against each other in a big galactic battle where you would have to invade planets and have space battles and defend those, those outposts you've got. It was a lot of fun and more complex than you would think for such an old game as well.
Yeah, I don't think I played the original. I played the newer editions and they weren't as good, but I'm pretty sure now there's probably still people playing the original. If it's
Absolutely,
yeah.
it's spoken about very fondly within the community. Me and my son still play it, for instance. The split screen, there's not enough split screen games these
No,
days at all.
the games aren't built now for everything's built for playing online, which is it's great. But again, you don't always want to play online. You want to play as a group of people with a couple of mates on the couch. It's split screen is it's losing its touch. It's
Well,
being
here's the
sort
thing,
of
though.
phased out.
A quick shout out to Larian Studios. Baldur's Gate 3
Yeah.
came out not that long ago. I've been playing it since we've been doing these podcasts.
Yeah.
And I'm actually currently doing it as a split screen with the missus. And
Okay.
my God, the game, like considering how big the game is, we're currently playing it on the PlayStation 5. Split screen works amazingly. Really surprised at how well it works. There's no tether. We can go anywhere we want in the world.
So you can separate, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and you
You're
can
gonna
kind
have
of
to do
like
a video.
solve quests all
Yeah.
separately. It's really, really good. They've done a great job.
That sounds fantastic. Yeah, because you don't really hear it of many games being able to do split screen, but Baldur's
No.
Gate 3, it's something I've seen that you can play it on deck. So I recently got a Steam Deck, so yeah, so I'm pretty sure people are able to play it on the deck. So I might have
How is the Steam Deck doing?
So it's good.
Why does that sound like there's a but? Yeah, it's good.
Yes, it's. I don't think it's a console for the type of person that just wants to pick up a console and play. So your PlayStation, your Xbox, that type of thing, you can just pick up and play and carry on.
Yeah.
The Steam Deck to me is very complicated with certain things, like
Isn't that what it's supposed to be though? It's supposed to be a handheld PC, essentially, no?
Yes, but it's to me, I can turn my PC on, start playing games straight away. I don't have to do many fidgeting. But with that, some games you have to fidget to the world's end just to get certain games to run properly. Now, don't get me wrong.
You're breaking my heart, Gavin. I wanted it.
You still definitely get it, but because there is a massive community behind it with people saying this is how you do this is how you do that. Whereas so not the technical minded, as much as I'm technical minded with certain things, not being technical minded, I think you'd struggle with certain things on it, but hands down it is a fantastic console. But again, it's not something you could buy your kid and say play that. It's a case of you've got to do a lot to get it going, which is good and bad at the same time. But up to now I've only had it for 2 weeks, and I've played mainly I think a game called Project Zomboid, which is it's a weird little zombie game, but it's fantastic. But yeah, it's definitely worth a get and give it a go and see what you think of the console itself. But
okie dokie. Next nomination.
We will go for so I'm looking at my nominations. I'm thinking Payday 2. I know Payday 3 has just come out, but Payday 2 is the pinnacle. Payday 3, okay, not great, but
we had a little bit on that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Payday 3.
There was
we played a lot of Payday 2.
Yes, there's a lot of issues with launch, which is expected. But again, as long as they're working on it,
It
that's
shouldn't
fine.
be expected. I know it's a complete side
It's
note, but I feel like these days, us gamers, we kind
yeah,
of expect everything to fail far too much, and we kind of
yeah,
okay with it failing these days. Whereas, again, Baldur's Gate 3 launched this year,
hmm
and I've got to be honest, Gav, this is one of the best, well put together games I think I've ever played. 175 hours in right now. And yes,
yeah.
there's issues, but they are patching them, patching them, patching them. And it's been one of the smoothest launches I've seen in a modern big game.
Game. No, I mean that's the thing. Sometimes you get certain games that launch and you've got proper game breaking bugs that you pick it up and you're like, I can't play this because it's that bad. And then obviously, I think the thing is we now expect games to launch with issues, so
Yeah,
we're
it's not on really, is it? These
no,
studios seem to
it's
do a lot better at what they're doing.
yeah. I mean, I think things should be if your game's not up to snuff, then put it back, like postpone it a little bit, because the people who are going to be happy and enjoying it are the people who are going to be like, okay, well, if it's not working, don't give it out yet. Don't make us the beta testers. You've
I
got
feel
Q&A
like
testers
there's
in.
even though there's so much more money in gaming these days, the studios that are
Mm,
making these games seem to be smaller and smaller. And
yeah,
therefore a lot more seems to be going through the cracks. I mean, I can't remember the name of the people that actually made Payday 3. I don't know if you have it down there. But
I
they
don't.
actually made The Walking Dead. There was a game recently, which was The Walking Dead, same
Yeah,
kind of concept. I think there was, 3 or 4 of you go out and do certain missions and stuff like that. That was such a horrendous launch that the game was effectively cancelled after a week of launch, and
jeez.
completely deleted from all libraries. You can't play that game now for love or money.
Wow. See, that's the thing. If it doesn't make it in the first week and that sort of thing happens where they don't bother trying to sort it or anything like that, I don't,
I think that's the risk of online games, though, that are
yes.
strictly online services.
Oh,
If the
yes.
studio isn't prepared to put the money in to fix the game or to keep it going, then that's the game that you've just spent 50, 60 quid on,
Yeah.
70 quid on PlayStation 5,
Jeez.
that's gone for no
Yeah.
reason.
It's, it's a dog eat dog world out there with video games at the moment. It's, if you don't succeed in the first couple of days, then I mean, we have had games that have clawed their way back. You've got the likes of Cyberpunk, which
Cyberpunk.
apparently is doing, yeah, No Man's Sky. That's done really well
No Man's
considering.
Sky had a huge comeback, really
Yeah,
well deserved.
they've done absolutely fantastic with it. I mean, I still play No Man's Sky now. I did play it when it first came out and did not enjoy it. And then I think when the PS4 was released, I got it on PS4 and I enjoyed it. And then obviously when it originally released on not the PC, sorry, the Xbox, I
Yeah.
said to Marty, I was like, you need to get it. And he was like, oh no, because it was this and that. And because of the bad luck from its original launch. And I was like, no, it's nothing like that. And he got it and we enjoyed it. It was an absolutely fantastic game. But yeah, as
I mean,
long
I
as,
played 100 hours in it myself. It is a
yeah,
very good game, and it even since when I last played it, and so much has been added. It's a
yeah,
game that's constantly being supported, new content's coming out for it, which is
yeah.
really good, really great at the studio.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. If a studio is putting their lifeblood and their passion into a game, I think no matter what, it will eventually succeed. Because the people, I've
It's a
just,
community behind it.
yes, yeah, I just got a tweet from Hello Games. Then just they're letting me know that they're listening to me. But yeah, it definitely Payday 2 on my list.
Why? I believe I interrupted you. We still don't know
Uh,
why you like it.
just the replayability of the missions you're doing, the co-op with your friends, the things you can do in it. I mean,
The
the
PvE environment's really nice, though, isn't it? The fact that it
yes,
is you, and your mates against this world trying
an
to get things
onslaught of
done.
police. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if you do it correctly, you get in and out without disturbing the police, and you get in there stealthily, or you go in guns blazing, like we've done plenty of times.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think that it should be noted though that those sort of games like infinitely better with friends
Yes.
than playing solo or
Playing
playing
by
with
yourself,
friends.
yeah. I mean, unless you're wanting to do something 100% stealth and you know exactly what you're doing, then by yourself sometimes works. But unless you're playing with friends, it can get boring quite quickly. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you make the fun where that game's concerned. You enjoy it really. But yeah, Payday 2.
Fair enough. Okie dokie. I've got a list of games in front of me we're looking to nominate, and I'm wondering which one to even mention first. We're going to go for KOTOR 2, though, because if I don't put this on the list, I'm going to be really annoyed at myself. Knights of the Old Republic 2. And I
Right.
believe I've already nominated number 1. Number 2, you actually get to turn your party members into Sith, if you choose to be bad, of course, or, of course, Jedis. And for me, having that player agency was what I wanted from a game. It's an open world, essentially open world. It's kind of like open pockets. You go to this pocket, that pocket,
Yeah.
and you complete different quests and missions and that kind of thing. And the fate of this game ultimately is in your hands. Multiple different endings, recruiting companions, setting up your gear, going good or bad. There's so much to the game, considering it's so old now. Has a huge fan base behind it still. And yeah, hopefully we're also going to be getting a number 3 coming
Okay.
out in the near future, set to release on PlayStation 5 first.
Is the same developers doing the number 3 as the other two?
I don't believe so. I
Don't
think it's a
believe so.
different team that's doing it.
Yeah.
I know they've had huge issues as well because they did actually spend a year on the game. And unfortunately, executives had a look at what they had made and they weren't happy. So it kind of got postponed. So we're in kind of limbo at the moment as to what's happening with that.
Okay. I've not played any of the Knights of the Old Republic. I think I actually have one on the PC, but I've never played them. It's one of
Amazing
them.
games.
Yeah, one of them. I'll have to add it to my list of games I need to play with bullies. So definitely, one of them games that, yeah, never piqued my interest. But I think my game selection nowadays has changed because of how old I'm getting. I say that like I'm really really old, but as I'm getting older, it's getting different to what it used to be. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely something I've got to play. Okay, du- 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 du. Just a nomination for a random game. House Flipper. Did you ever play House Flipper?
Yes, I played House
Yes.
Flipper. It does not deserve to be on this list at
Oh
all.
no, I
Anyway,
love
so the
it.
next nomination will be me. We're going to
No,
completely sidestep
you've
that.
got to. You've got to. So, House
I
Flipper
played
is
it. I reviewed it. It does not deserve to be on this
it,
list.
it's a no-brainer. It's a game you can just pick
It
up
is
and
a no-brainer,
yeah,
exactly.
it's like it's the simulation games. It's like Power
You're not
Wash
telling me on this,
Simulator.
Gavin. It's
No,
not
it's
happening.
it's it's
No,
good.
you
It's
can't
good.
mention
It's
Car Wash Simulator.
yeah.
I gave that a 4 out of 10.
See, to me, the games that if your head's boggled with normal everyday life and you're just like, I want to play something, but I don't want to concentrate on it. You play the likes of House Flipper, you play the likes of Power Wash Simulator. Um, yeah,
I don't
I
even know
enjoy
why I allow you to be in this podcast. Seriously.
it.
Right
I
now,
don't
for
know. We're
anyone watching this
friends.
video, if you want to come in and replace Gavin, let me know.
Just
Seriously.
submit an application of games that are better than mine.
Okie dokie. I'm going to nominate a game called XCOM 2. How do I even start to? This is a strategy, turn-based RPG. You take on a role of people trying to basically save Earth. You have to fight aliens. Now, the definitive edition, the final version of this game, just changes it so much. As you play through this game, the game will generate 3 random bad guys for you. These bad guys will have certain different abilities. It's literally a dice roll as to what they get. Some will be immune to poison, some will be immune to melee. Whatever it is, it's always different. No 2 play styles are ever the same. And they come throughout the entire game. You have to kind of track them down and destroy them before the end boss. Otherwise, you're fighting the end boss plus all these 3 extra, anti-heroes as well. That's just one element of XCOM 2. Another element is that, let's say, for instance, I create myself and I create Gavin as well. And we go, mission to mission, hand in hand. We create a bond together. Now, if Gavin takes a bullet to the head, which he probably would, my character would go bonky and be like, oh no, and be heartbroken and that kind of thing. And so the fact that you can develop bonds with your characters and that kind of thing.
Okay.
You can also build a base up as well and research technologies. There's so much to XCOM. It's got to be honestly one of the greatest games I've ever played. I was completely blown away by just how this game developed, how many different layers there were to it. Really, I can't talk about it highly enough, honestly.
I was going to say, I think I remember you suggesting it to me, but I've never been one for turn-based games. But again, it's something that really I should even just have a little foray into and have a little go. So, but yeah, XCOM 2, did you say?
XCOM 2?
XCOM 2. I'll have a look at it. Right. Mine, if you let me have it on there, The Division. The Division. Did you ever play the original Division, not the second one?
So I did actually play the Division. It wasn't for me. I went a different way because the fact that it was an online game, you have to put a lot of time into it.
Yes.
I think at the time I was playing. What was I playing? I think I was playing Ark. I think.
Yeah. I mean, I had to literally buy it for Marty to get him to play it because he was like, nope, definitely not playing it. But I did eventually get him into it and he did enjoy it. But the Division, I thought it was a really decent game. I mean, you did have the PvP and the PvP elements to it. I enjoyed the PvE a lot more than the PvP. But I think that's more because unless I don't put like as many hours as I want to into certain games, and people who are able to just continuously play these games, they become absolutely fantastic to it. And you'd literally walk into the PvP section and die straight away, and I'd just be like, yeah, not for me.
I've played first-person shooters with you before, though, and you're actually pretty good.
I'm okay. I have my days where I'm doing well, and then I have my days where every shot I miss, and the only shot that hits is when I shoot myself with my own gun. So even then, sometimes I tend to miss. But yeah, I'm hit and miss.
Funny, though, because like I said, I have played first-person shooters with him before, and sometimes we're there and there, and we're like, oh yeah, no, come on, Gavin, keep up, type of thing, trying to get him to come along. And other times we're all down dead, and he's the only one alive, absolutely randoing
it. Sometimes, maybe once in a blue moon, when the stars align properly and everything's just perfect, then yes. But 9 times out of 10, no. I'm not the best of. I have my days, I should say, have my days of being good.
Okie dokie, my next nomination has to be The Witcher 3. Again, it's a single player game. This is an open world game. It's a fantasy game. And it was a really, really good game. I think that the how big that game was and the fact that it expanded, we've now got a TV show. There was a side spin because this is one of those games where there was a game built into a game, which was Gwent, and that went on to become its own game as well. Not only a card game, but also, a game that you can download and play on your phone. And I think it's seen a lot of culture now as Witcher 3. I think lots of people would be aware of what it is and different references of it as well. So I think the fact that it's the game that's become so mainstream and it shows you just how good that game actually was.
It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I played it. I remember getting it on release. Absolutely great game. I mean, I probably didn't get more than about 50 hours into it, which, considering how big it was, wasn't much. But never ended up completing it. But again, I think I do actually have it on the PC, so I can put it on the deck and have a go of it on the deck and have days when, because it's all offline, isn't it? So you don't have to worry about. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to give it another go and see what it's like.
It's one of those games though, because I think that in many cases, just how big that game is can scare people. When I very
Yes.
first played the game, and I've been used to playing games my whole life. I'd done 50 hours into that to realize I'm chasing side missions. I
Yeah.
hadn't even touched the main story. And I think the first time I started playing it, I got those 50 hours in and stopped. It was only when I came back like a year later that, I went through and completed it and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
games that give you player agency, that allow you to finish the game how you want, with the multiple different endings, and even choosing relationships with who you want. And of course, I think this is one of those first games, mainstream games, that allowed you to have adult relationships. There was like
Mm.
sex scenes, and you could do certain different things you couldn't in a lot of other games. Um, so yeah, it's absolutely on my list.
Yeah, I remember two stories about The Witcher. The first one was people were sort of glitching it by killing these cows in a village to boost certain things. So the developers were like, "Yeah, we're not having that. Put in a little secret." Yeah, and you kill the cows, you get murdered by the cow boss. And then also there was something I remember about one of the adult scenes in it where if you did a certain thing, instead of it being a beautiful woman who you're enjoying your time with, it was this old haggard lady, and you can't do nothing about it because you're in the cutscene. So, but I think when developers do things like that, and it makes certain things a little more tolerable, is the word I'm trying to say. But yeah, the game was absolutely fantastic, and
I
definitely, I mean,
think
this
I think that I
replays.
actually got the physical copy of that game as well, and
My
it
first
was
copy was a physical as well.
it
Yeah,
was the first game or sorry, it was the last game I believe I brought where not only did you get the disc, but you got like a little map, and you got stickers, and you got a little booklet and stuff like that. And again, it's those kind of things that are just missing in gaming today.
yes. I mean, the nowadays you
That would
get
be
a.
like an elite collector's edition these days,
Yeah, I
right?
think you pay silly amount of money, but that was basically the base model, wasn't it? Because I think as
Yeah,
well you got certain add-ons that were in the game box for free, which normally you wouldn't get.
yeah.
But yeah, these you don't really hear much about games coming with maps, or everything's either a companion app or you've got to download a PDF or something. But yeah, physical. I think we're moving away from the physical of like video game things like that, which is not great for some people, but great for others. But again, if you're a physical kind of person, like with your collection of games and that, you still want the physical copies and the
Absolutely.
yeah. It's memorabilia, isn't it? It's nostalgia about all the old stuff as well. But yeah, The Witcher 3, definitely an absolutely fantastic game. Um, my next nomination would have to be Max Payne 3. Did you
Okay.
did you ever play Max Payne 3?
I did. I did. I
Yeah.
don't remember it too well, but I do remember playing it. I remember. I
Mhm.
remember the front cover.
Yeah.
Nice.
I enjoyed it. It was I think it was my first into the Max Payne series. But yeah, Max Payne 3, the I mean, you could be like some games you're running around and you're being shot by a million people and your screen goes a bit red and then you're fine. Whereas this game, you could walk through a door and the bad guy gets a decent shot on you and you're dead. So you've got
Yeah.
to then realize, oh, I've got to be careful when I go through that door. I've got to be careful when I go into gunfights, and you've got to be careful with certain things. But the Max Payne series, yeah, absolutely fantastic game. Max
Okay.
Payne.
Fair enough. My next nomination is going to be Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah,
It's a game that me, you, and Marty all played together.
yeah.
It's a game that we spent a lot of time in. It's a single player open world, kind of modern day. Was it a third person? I think, or not first person, was it? It was third
You
person.
can go into third person, but that's only when you're aiming. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's third
But
person.
it's kind of like a strategy game. You had to work as a
Yeah.
team to take on these compounds. And it was just almost your typical Ubisoft game with the way that Far Cry set up, but you're kind of working as a unit, the unit that you make. Of course, you can play it solo, but
Yeah.
this game is so much better as a playing with your friends and people and just trying to work through the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of times we've said to ourselves, we're going in here, we're going to be quiet as possible, and we've ended up mucking it up constantly. But again, you make your own fun when you're in a group of people like we were with me, you, Marty, even
The sniper challenges.
yes. I mean, I think we even achieved some of that where we were on the open plains and someone would hold, yeah, you'd
It was like trying to move them to the bullet. You'd fire
yes,
like a mile away. It
yeah,
would be like, we're going to the
just
left. I can
just
see the bullet.
yeah. But yeah, you make your own fun, and that sort of game is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't like Breakout, was it? It was the second.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah. Oh, Breakpoint.
That was my first review on the channel.
Was it?
Yeah.
Breakpoint. It's yeah. It wasn't great. I mean, I've got it on the Xbox as well as the PC, so I have played it a bit, but I've not played it to the extent that I played Wildlands. Wildlands, I put a lot of time into it and enjoyed it thoroughly.
Okay.
One more game. Let's go for the Mad Max game that was on the Xbox. Did you ever play Mad Max?
I did.
So
I played a lot of time in that game actually.
yeah, I did a video for on my own channel a while back. Didn't really do well, but the game I thought was absolutely great. The fact that you had to manage your car, you had to manage how much fuel you had and things like that, and you had to make sure that if you were going to compounds or whichever, that you looked for fuel actively to then refill your car. Your bullets were scarce. Your water, you had to make sure you had enough water to heal yourself. But yeah, I thought that was a really, because it was open world with aspects of sort of being stuck in a little zone where you've got to go through. But yeah, not Max Payne, sorry, Mad Max game, absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a bit of a shame that it kind of like dropped off, didn't get any extra DLC, I don't believe, or any kind of
Yeah.
support or anything like that. But I did enjoy it. I played it quite a bit. I know Marty did as well. It was a good game.
Yeah, definitely.
I think my next one has to be Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, yes.
Loved Crash Bandicoot. That was an amazing game. Absolute, going back OGs. And it was one of those games that didn't hold your hand. It was super, super hard. And I remember as a kid just constantly on the first level. I don't know if I ever made it off that first level. I was just trying to get further and further in,
Yeah. The was it Ugga Bugga was the mask you used to put on as you're going through, and then you were invulnerable. I put hours and hours into Crash, and probably the same as you, probably never got past the first or second level, but I remember playing it as a kid, and even though you're repeating the same thing and the same thing and the same thing again, it's enjoyable because you're teaching yourself that, okay, I need to learn how to jump over this bit better. I need to learn how to get past this bit better. And it's
well, there weren't many games out back then, was there?
No.
So what you got is what you got, and if you were crap at it, that's what you had to enjoy.
Well, if you look at look at when you first had your first PlayStation or Xbox, how many games you had then? Probably about 5 or 6 maximum if you were, well off, so to say. But nowadays, I mean, on the Xbox, I've got about 300 games. I've got on the PC about 300 games. So, it's as much as you're looking at all these games, you can't pick the one game you want to play because there's too many to pick from. Whereas I think we're spoilt for choice nowadays with that at the same time. So, being able to replay the same game all the time, I think it made us better people. Now we're too spoiled. Yeah, we're too spoiled.
But there we go, guys. That is the end of this video. I believe we got well over halfway in. Thank you again so much for joining us, Gavin. And of course, we will be back in the next episode trying to continue to climb up to that 100 nominations mark. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And of course, don't forget we do have an active and growing Discord. The link for it is down in the description of the video. But until next time, I've been a monk. This has been Gavin, and we will see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.
Little bit.